Hello, friends. Today we are cooking a wonderful hearty beef dish with some cozy mashed potatoes. Stick around to see my special secret for the perfect gravy. Let's pour olive oil into a heated pan. Now let's take about 1.3 pounds of fresh beef. It is incredibly important to pat the meat completely dry using a paper towel. Removing surface moisture ensures we get a gorgeous brown sear right away. Let's grab our knife and cut this beef into medium, uniform pieces. Slicing the meat evenly ensures every single piece will cook at the exact same rate. You know, this cozy recipe always reminds me of wonderful weekend dinners from my childhood. My mother often cooked a very similar savory meat dish when our whole family gathered around the table after a long week. A fantastic aroma would fill the entire house, creating a true sense of warmth. I firmly believe that preparing such substantial food is the best and most sincere language of love. When you place a hot plate of hearty dinner in front of your loved ones, they immediately feel your care. Taking your time to slice the meat perfectly is a relaxing process that sets a peaceful mood for the evening. Using our handy kitchen tongs, let's carefully place the fresh beef pieces right into the hot skillet. Try to spread them out very evenly so there is plenty of space between each chunk. We will patiently brown the meat for about 10 minutes per side. Let's carefully sprinkle our meat with some pure pink Himalayan salt. It wonderfully enhances the deep, savory beef flavor and perfectly helps to form that incredibly appetizing crust. Freshly ground black pepper will give the meat a lovely warm heat, so let's crack it right into the pan. Now, cover it all with a handy mesh splatter screen to keep your stovetop perfectly clean. Meanwhile, let's carefully place a small pot on the neighboring burner and pour in some clean water for our potatoes. Add a pinch of pink Himalayan salt to the water and gently stir it with a silicone spatula. By the way, I would love to know, what beautiful city are you watching my video from? Take 3 medium potatoes and slice them into neat half moons. Potatoes are a wonderful source of potassium, which supports a healthy heart and gives us great basic energy for the whole day. Buying a big bag of potatoes in season is one of the smartest and easiest ways to save on your family grocery budget. They store perfectly in a cool, dark cabinet for many weeks, staying incredibly fresh. This half-moon cut will allow them to boil quickly and evenly, so they easily turn into the fluffiest mash. Carefully drop the sliced potatoes straight into the pot of boiling water. Give them a gentle stir with the silicone spatula and tightly cover with a lid. We will boil them for about 20 minutes. Exactly 10 minutes have passed. Let's remove our handy mesh screen and use kitchen tongs to carefully flip every single piece of meat to the other side. Look at that incredibly deep, beautiful golden crust we have already developed. Let's lightly sprinkle this freshly browned side with more pink Himalayan salt. Seasoning the meat evenly on both sides is crucial for building a balanced taste. We will add a little more freshly ground black pepper as well. Put the mesh screen back in place and let the beef fry on this second side until nicely browned. Let's remove the mesh screen now. Use your tongs to take the browned meat out of the skillet and transfer it to a plate. We will save these fragrant juices for later. While the browned beef rests to the side, we are going to slice one fresh onion into lovely half moons. Onions are truly the fundamental base for a very tasty, thick, home-style gravy. If you happen to buy way too many onions, do not worry at all. You can always chop them up in advance and simply freeze them in small bags for later. It is an incredibly smart trick that saves so much time and effort for your future weeknight family dinners. I love this practical method. Add the freshly sliced onion straight into the hot skillet with those rich leftover beef juices. Stir everything very gently with our silicone spatula. The moisture from the onions will wonderfully help us lift all those tasty brown bits off the bottom. We will fry this base for 15 minutes. Now let's slice up some fresh mushrooms into half moons. Mushrooms are a simply fantastic ingredient for hearty stews. They act just like tiny sponges, instantly soaking up all the rich flavors from the pan. Remember a small rule: never wash mushrooms under running water, or they will get terribly soggy. Instead, just gently wipe them clean with a damp paper towel. This way, they stay perfectly firm and nice. Drop the fresh mushrooms into the skillet with the onions and mix everything with the silicone spatula. Soon the mushrooms will release their lovely earthy aroma, making the meat gravy truly mouth-watering and perfectly cozy for a nice dinner. Let's grab half of a red bell pepper and slice it up nicely. Bell peppers will add a gentle, unobtrusive sweetness and wonderful freshness to our dish. Moreover, it is a great source of vitamin C, which is so beneficial for our immune system. The bright red color of the pepper will visually liven up the heavy meat dish, making it look truly festive on the plate. Juicy vegetables are the key to a perfect balance. Send the chopped pepper straight into the pan and gently mix it with the silicone spatula. Look at how beautifully these bright, vibrant colors combine together. It feels like a real celebration. Now let's carefully chop the crisp stalks of our fresh celery. Many home cooks underestimate this humble vegetable, but it gives the sauce that deep flavor base, which is incredibly difficult to achieve otherwise. Never throw the leftover leaves and stalk ends into the trash bin. Put them in a container and simply hide them in the freezer. It is the absolute perfect foundation for homemade broths. Being a frugal cook is so helpful. Add the celery to the skillet and mix thoroughly using the silicone spatula. Our thick vegetable base is becoming increasingly diverse and rich in these stunning, comforting aromas. We begin to carefully chop one beautiful sweet Ramiro pepper. This wonderful variety is always characterized by incredible juiciness and a slight honey note that will make the meat gravy much more interesting. By the way, I am always endlessly interested in reading your warm comments. Please tell me, what hot meat dish do you consider your signature meal? that you cook most often for long-awaited guests? I am waiting for your answers down below. Using 2 types of fresh peppers at once is a great trick that makes the flavor incredibly deep. Your family will appreciate it. Immediately pour the chopped Ramiro pepper into the hot skillet and carefully mix everything with our handy silicone spatula. The rich variety of vegetables gives the dinner an ideal, healthy balance. Now we carefully slice a few fresh garlic cloves into thin little rings. It is extremely important to add garlic at this specific stage, and not at the very beginning of the long frying process with the onions. If you add it too early, the garlic will quickly burn and give the whole dish a terribly unpleasant, sharp bitterness. But added right now, it will very softly release its warm, savory aroma without overpowering the other tasty vegetables. Add the fragrant garlic rings to the pan and mix everything very nicely with the silicone spatula. Literally a second later, this delicious, warming scent will spread throughout the whole kitchen, instantly waking up everyone's appetite. Now softly sprinkle the vegetables with Himalayan salt for a perfect flavor balance. Then generously grind some fragrant black peppercorns directly onto the vegetables and gently mix everything very well once again with the silicone spatula. Our vegetables have already become incredibly soft, shiny, and are completely ready to become a magnificent base for our thick gravy. Carefully add 1 tablespoon of flour and thoroughly mix the mass with the silicone spatula. This simple secret is known to every experienced housewife. The flour will perfectly bind all the juices together and quickly turn a regular broth into a thick, beautiful, cozy home-style sauce. Now pour in 1 cup of warm beef broth and smoothly mix everything with the silicone spatula. You will notice how, thanks to the flour, the gravy begins to thicken very pleasantly, acquiring a truly beautiful, noble, and extremely appetizing glossy shine. Finally, gently return the beef pieces to the pan, along with all the resting meat juices. The meat will simmer slowly in the vegetable base, absorbing the flavor. Add half a cup of red wine for a subtle, tangy note, and cover with a tight lid to simmer gently for 25 minutes. Our potatoes are already perfectly boiled. Carefully transfer the very hot chunks into a handy manual potato press. Squeeze the snow-white mashed potatoes right into a large glass bowl. Using a press instead of a regular masher is my absolute favorite way to achieve a perfectly flawless, airy texture without a single lump. The potatoes turn out incredibly light, just like a cloud, and are not sticky at all. This side dish will be an excellent base for our rich beef gravy. Lightly season the hot puree with a pinch of pink Himalayan salt. Quickly grind some fresh black peppercorns for a light, deeply warming aroma inside. Sprinkle the soft potatoes with dried oregano for a very warm, cozy touch. Pour in about 1/3 of a cup of nice, pleasantly warm milk. Drop in a generous piece of good butter and carefully knead everything with our silicone spatula until completely smooth. The butter will give the potatoes that creamy richness and an incredible glossy shine. Our delicious, very fluffy, and fabulously tender mashed potatoes are entirely ready. They will literally melt in your mouth, perfectly complementing the beef. Now, very finely chop some fresh green onions. Greens always wonderfully refresh any heavy side dish, adding bright colors and a lovely spring mood. It is amazing how such a simple detail can radically transform the appearance of the plate. You can easily grow green onions right on your windowsill in a glass of water. This is a wonderful way to always have fresh herbs on hand and delight your family with a beautiful presentation every evening without any extra cost at all. Generously sprinkle our hot mashed potatoes with the chopped green onions and gently mix the mass with the silicone spatula. The airy puree with bright emerald splashes of greenery looks truly incredibly elegant and appetizing. Great job! We have now completely and very successfully finished the side. Let's return to our skillet. Remove the lid and carefully stir the beef with the silicone spatula. The lovely sauce has become incredibly thick. Quickly and finely chop some fresh parsley. Its tart, expressive aroma will be the absolute perfect finishing touch for the stewed meat. Adding herbs at the very end excellently preserves all their natural vitamins. You know, cooking with your own hands is a real miracle. From simple, understandable products, we created a restaurant masterpiece that can warm the heart of any person after a hard day. Thickly sprinkle our hot dish with the chopped parsley. Our delicious, tender beef is completely ready to serve. Let's place the fluffy mashed potatoes on a plate, forming a cozy plateau. Right on top of this tender potato pillow, we generously place juicy pieces of hot, savory beef. Abundantly pour thick, velvety vegetable gravy from the skillet over our gorgeous dish. Just look at this indescribable beauty from all angles. The rich, glossy sauce, browned, melting meat, and bright vegetables on a snow-white cloud of puree. This dish will definitely become the main star of your family table. The meat turned out so soft that you do not even need to chew it, and the sauce is simply incredible. If you loved this home recipe, please subscribe to the channel. Enjoy your meal and see you all next time.